Good afternoon and welcome to the CCSQ DNA Town Hall. For those of you who are new, these calls are designed to provide you with updates, announcements, training demos, and related to the CDR, SaaS via Databricks, and more. So before we get started today, let's cover some administrative announcements. So quickly, please stay muted during the call. If you do have any questions, please put them in the chat and then we'll be sure to answer them. A member from our team will answer them during our Q&A portion at the end of our call. We are recording today's call and we'll make the meeting materials available, including the deck, the meeting recording itself, and then the Q&A after our call wraps. Then let's review today's agenda. So first we'll be reviewing the monthly satisfaction survey results and then give the new monthly poll. Then we'll be going to the SaaS via transition topics, office hours, information, and updates. Third, we'll be having portal updates and a demo. Fourth, we have new data sets coming soon in the CDR. Fifth, a Databricks Assistant pilot demo, then accessing the CDR with R, and then finally our Q&A will wrap up our call today. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Miriam to review some monthly satisfaction survey results from the last couple months. I know it has been a minute because we did have our data camp kind of in between there in May. So with that, I will turn things over to Miriam now.
Thank you. Hello. I'm Miriam Ibarra. I'm the product owner for both the portal and the user services team. As Julia said, we're going to cover 2 months of satisfaction results, March and April. Go to the next slide. So with the feedback that we received for the April results, we did get some negative responses around the SaaS via transition. There's frustration and disappointment around the decommissioning process. We are taking steps to try to provide more support and resources to the community so that we can alleviate some of these negative experiences that you guys are having. The positive feedback that we received around the help desk was that users are getting quicker responses. It's being handled professionally from the help desk team. We know that we are trying to support you all with the SaaS transition. We know that that is a pain point, and so our hope with the help desk is that we can continue to provide support there and answer some questions that you guys have as you're going through the process of transitioning. One thing I will note too is that as you ask questions from the help desk or in the Slack channel or in use case sessions, we are gathering those questions and we are reviewing them, getting answers to them from our SaaS resources, and we have begun publishing them out to the portal. So more content will be coming. We collect those and review them. Again, negative experience around Databricks, Python, QuickSight as a whole, just dissatisfaction due to the lack of supporting resources. We are updating the portal regularly now so that we can provide more resources for you to hopefully alleviate some of those pain points again. With the need for improving training and documentation, this is in the process as well. Later on, I will be giving a demo of portal and some of the changes that we've made that will potentially and hopefully address quite a few of these issues. Then there was some inconsistencies and technical issues. This was mentioned roughly 5 times that users were reporting various technical issues that was interrupting their productivity. We work through those as we recognize them, and we send out comms and then have the appropriate teams get on to it as quick as possible so that we can try to alleviate and limit those technical issues that you've experienced. And then there was some mentions around positive experience with Databricks. So despite the challenges that you faced with Databricks, the platform itself seems to be receiving positive feedback. And I think we're ready for the next slide, please. So for the March results, specifically around the performance and uptime of the environments, overall, the satisfaction was 62%. We did have some dissatisfaction around 27%, and that was out of a total of 63 responses. So we rely heavily on these surveys so that we can find the pain points and the discomfort that you are facing, so that we can try to put action plans together to try to alleviate that and increase your overall satisfaction. So we do look at these and review them and take action. The next slide, please. This satisfaction again is March, and it's addressing the help desk response to answering your questions and issues. Overall, we had 52% satisfaction with the support that the help desk is able to provide, 18% dissatisfied, and this came from a total of 62 responses. So again, these surveys are very important to us. We want to make sure that we can keep increasing satisfaction overall. Next slide. And then some feedback that was collected from the help desk, specifically around the help desk support, is communication transparency, just more visibility to responses from the help desk, getting regular communications and updates as the ticket is progressing and being worked. Responsiveness, the feedback was a little divided here. Some acknowledged that their requests were met rather quickly, and others said that there was a long wait period before anybody would actually follow up with their issues. So we are, again, putting action in place to address the responsiveness. Around knowledge and expertise, regarding features and tools like Databricks, felt like there's a lack of knowledge around those help desk tickets, specifically for Databricks. So we are doing knowledge training with the help desk staff to make sure that we can make sure that they can provide you with the appropriate information that will help with your day-to-day tasks. There was suggestions around training, providing more training resources to help understand the system and the environments better, including code samples, group trainings, things like these. We have implemented our office hours for the SaaS transition. We started those June 5th, and we hold those every Wednesday. So look out for those emails to sign up for them. They are limited just so that we can have an interactive conversation with you to hear what questions you have and to be able to have the time to answer those questions. But we will be scheduling more office hours in the future. And then the last one, just experiencing reoccurring system issues and expressing need for better uptime and speed for cloud services, just from the standpoint that it's interrupting your day-to-day work and affecting your productivity. So we will be looking into those as well. I think next slide, please. Overall, with the resources that are available from the data and analytics, we have 51% satisfaction and 26% dissatisfaction out of 62 responses for March. Again, we are making some changes, especially around portal and the content that we're providing to help hopefully bring up satisfaction. Next slide. Training materials that you would like to see provided. A lot around SaaS, and we understand there's a lot happening with SaaS right now, and you are needing this. So we have begun, like I said, collecting questions from help desk tickets, from the Slack channel, from the use case meetings, even the office hours. And every 2 weeks, we will be publishing more questions as we get answers built out from our SAS resources, and they'll cover a range of SAS information. So Python, R, Databricks, those are all will have material out there for those key areas. And we are updating, some of the content has sample codes. We are updating that to be able to provide more sample codes out there that can be used to help with the transition as a whole. There was interest in training materials to cover basic data management skills, including how to pull and store data. So we will be looking to that to see what kind of knowledge articles we can put together to help with that area. Same with QuickSight, providing more training material around that. When I demo the portal a little bit later, it might help if you haven't been able to go out and look at it yet. Hopefully the demo will give you some guidance on where to look and how to access the content. And then CMS Data 101. Oh, I apologize, skipped over data catalog, data dictionaries. Just providing additional training resources. The feedback that we received is more training resources around how to utilize that data and make it effective. And then the CMS Data 101, learning more, getting a deeper insight into the specific data sets and learning more about the healthcare related data analysis. This is another area that we can look into and try to determine what kind of content we can provide. Next slide. Suggestions for how to improve the help desk support. The feedback that we got, and a lot of this has been covered with the previous slides, but quicker response times, better communication of the status of how the ticket is proceeding, improved resource and knowledge sharing, specifically with the FAQs and code samples, improving the understanding of the tools, better trained personnel, just having our help desk have better knowledge around the specific questions that are being asked and how they can answer your questions quicker to get you a resolution. Improved incident management practices, specifically making sure that we are effectively resolving the incidents, preventing the incidents from happening, just having a more streamlined experience with dealing with the help desk. Access management improvements as well. Again, touching on training, like I've mentioned, we have every 2 weeks we'll be providing new Q&As around at least the SAS transition, but we'll also include Python and R and Databricks training as well. And then just improved handling of tickets. We are in the process as a whole of uplifting our help desk support. We've been meeting with various groups to identify the pain points and get some knowledge training available to them so that they can answer your questions quicker and not have to extend the amount of time that it takes to resolve the help desk tickets. Next slide, please. Okay, so going into the May results, positive, negative experiences with the environment. Again, negative experience with SAS Viya, disappointed with their overall experience with SAS Viya, and the removal process has been a negative experience. The tool as a whole, just the feedback was negative. We have worked on stabilizing SAS so that as you're doing your transition, there's less downtime and outages. Again, positive experience with the help desk. Users noted that they like the help desk. They like that the help desk has been willing to work through questions on Slack. And then the resources in the training hub have been helpful. Negative experience with the environments, just the general frustration around the environments. Again, being down, lack of space, various issues with the code. These are all things that we are looking into to try to make sure you have a better experience with the tool. And again, negative experience with Databricks and Python. We will be providing more training around both of these and R itself. So be on the lookout for those, please. Next slide. For the overall performance and uptime of the environments, we had a 46% satisfaction, 24% dissatisfaction, and that was out of a total of 112 responses. So we did drop between March and April. This was around the same time that there was some major SAS outages. So that is understandable that satisfaction would go down. Next slide, please. And then the overall support that you received from the help desk with addressing your questions and issues, 51% compared to the 52% from March. And then 17% dissatisfaction compared to the 11%. Oh, I apologize. That was the NAs. 14% dissatisfaction from the 18% back in March. And again, that was out of 112 responses. Next slide, please. And then again, any feedback that was shared to help with the help desk support, getting positive feedback in regards to the help desk. There was appreciation with the rapid responses and being kept informed as their tickets were worked. There was other feedback in needing better response time, longer wait times and delays, and the lack of responsiveness and answers and solutions were not necessarily always helpful or were too vague. General suggestions overall, suggestions included improvement, it included fewer technical changes, mid-contract communications on why exactly something isn't working and what exact changes are being made, a better understanding of Databricks on the help desk side. Other users have suggested consolidating support communications in one location instead of spreading them over emails, Slack, and tickets. We are, like I mentioned, looking at process changes for the help desk as a whole. And so hopefully soon we'll have some rapid change coming your way. Next slide, please. How satisfied are you with the training material, the newsletters, the town halls, the Slack channel as a whole? Between March and April, we went from 51% up to 62%. Dissatisfaction went down from 26% to 12%, and that again was out of 112 responses. So taking the steps in the right direction, and hopefully we can keep increasing on this for you all. Next slide, please. Training material that you would like to see. Python, Databricks, SAS, Viya. There is content available out in Portal, and as I've mentioned, we will be continuously updating and improving on them. Other areas for training material, I'm not gonna bore you through the whole long list, but R is a big one that would help support everybody with the SAS transition, best practices and how to be effective with the current tools, hands-on sessions as part of Townhall, Portal training, and then any material for tool integration and more video tutorials. We will be looking into these to try to provide more content for you as well. Next slide. Again, areas to feedback for how we can improve help desk support, just again, timely and better communications, making sure that you're getting daily updates on the progress, making sure that there's more support and assistance, more aid, technical support, and just assistance in general, more documentation and visuals, such as grids or charts for tool integrations, better documentation on data sets, the data dictionary, encoding manuals, etc. Again, personnel training, just getting more knowledgeable staff around Databricks at more of a senior level. The SAS via decommission, the response was reconsidering again, not supporting SAS via. Positive feedback overall was customer service is good and the responses are kind. Next slide, please. So through all those slides, I said it several times and it was intentional. We do review these surveys. We take your feedback serious and your satisfaction is important to us. We are taking necessary steps to address these areas that you've expressed dissatisfaction in. So our goal is to make sure that you're seeing rapid improvement so that the overall satisfaction increases. Action that we are taking is defining better processes, that defining our processes, getting them more mature in a better place so that we can streamline procedures to enhance service delivery, ensuring that feedback is driving our improvements, and then resolving issues promptly and effectively. Next slide, please.
Miriam, did you want me to take it from here?
Yeah, yes, I think this is your part.
Sounds good. Okay, so we are going to be administering our new monthly satisfaction survey. Just a few reminders. This survey helps us know how we can improve your experience within the CCSQ DNA environment and our community. So in a moment, a Zoom poll is going to pop up on your screen. You're going to have about 5 minutes to answer these questions. Scroll down to see all of the questions to make sure that none are getting blocked, so scroll all the way down. Complete the questions relevant to you and then hit submit. After 5 or 6 minutes has ended, the poll will close and the results will be used to improve our tools, trainings, and offerings. Please, just as a reminder, make sure you're only submitting this survey if you are a user within our environment. So also the survey is not anonymous, so that way if you do have any questions or require any follow-up, we can provide support where needed. So with all of that being said, I will go ahead and launch that now. Okay, it should be up on your screen. I'll be checking in periodically to kind of just give timekeeping and reminders. Okay, so we are about a minute and a half in, but then also as a reminder, this survey will be covering both May and June since our data camp kind of took the place of our town hall in May and it was mid-month. We would like you to reflect both on May and June. That way when we're covering results next month, we can get a full range of data there. We have about a minute and a half remaining. Thirty more seconds remaining. Take 10 more seconds to wrap up final answers. Thank you so much for your participation. We'll be sure to review those results from this month at our next July town hall then. Okay, so next I'm actually going to be passing it back to Miriam for some SAS via transition topics office hours information.
If you could just go to the next slide, please. So as I covered, the survey results said it multiple times. We are holding SAS via transition office hours. We started this on the 5th of this month, and we've held 3 sessions so far, one on the 5th, one on the 12th, one on the 20th. As we review and collect all the material from the office hour sessions, we are posting those out to the portal. So the first 2 topics are out there and available. We have the recording and any content that came along with it, such as material, such as decks and notebooks. We are in the process of getting topic 3 reviewed, and that will be published shortly. And then topic 4 is actually happening today. So be on the lookout for that material as well. The deck will be available, and so these links for the first 2 topics do take you directly to the specific office hour page, and that does contain, like I said, the recording, any material that was used during the presentation, and then all the questions that were asked with answers. The next slide, please. Starting on the 3rd of July, we will do a repeat of topic 1. So if you were able to make it on the 5th, make sure you watch out for the email that'll come out and make sure you register for it. Topic 5 will be a new topic, working with data frames using Python. That'll happen on the 10th. And then on the 17th, we'll do a repeat of topic 2, file management, importing files from S2 workbenches. And as I mentioned in the slide before, topic 1 and topic 2 are available in portal. And then after the 17th, office hours will be picked back up around mid-August. Next slide, please. So as I just covered, we will be making the office hour materials available. They are in portal. 1 and 2 is available. Topic 3 is coming. Additionally to that, we will be regularly updating the SAS resources. Every 2 weeks, we'll be posting new information, new content out there that you would be able to reference and hopefully help support you when needed. We did previously have a page called SAS via Transitions FAQ. That page has been not removed yet, but we wanted to make sure that if you had it bookmarked, we didn't take that away. There is a redirect to the new SAS resources page, and the Q&As that we are providing have been split into categories so that it's easier to navigate and find the specific material that you're looking for. And then again, these questions are coming from help desk tickets, the Slack channel, and any of the use case meetings that are happening. We collect those. We have the SAS programmers review them, draft answers for us, and then every 2 weeks we'll be posting new information out there. Next slide, please. So with that, to tie everything together, if I can share my screen, I will do a demo of Portal. All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. There are a couple decks that go along or slides that go along with this, but as I demo, the majority of the information will be covered. So we did recently perform some user interviews to hear what kind of enhancements you would like to see. We want to make sure that the portal as a whole is a very valuable tool that you can include in your toolbox. So in addition to publishing new content every 2 weeks, we will be doing a monthly audit of the content that's available, removing any that are out of date, updating any that have new information that we can provide, or just as a whole, bringing you new knowledge articles. We also will be publishing under our news and events section the announcements that you receive via email. We'll also be publishing them here. So if you need to refer back to them, that information is available. You will still receive the emails like usual that are sent out. We just want to make sure that you have more visibility to upcoming events and they would live under the news and events section. In addition to that, we have the upcoming events section that shows you the next few events that are happening. In this case, it's the upcoming office hours and a maintenance, the July maintenance event. We do have this new functionality with a calendar view that will give you the full look of the month. And also you can progress through the months to see what is upcoming to determine if you want to attend something. The next part is, coming soon too is the past events right now are redirecting to Confluence. We are working on getting a new page built for that and migrating that content over so that it lives within Portal as well, in addition to all the other training resources that are available. With SAS being a bigger topic, wanted to point out that we do have our overall training hub, but then we also divide the content into the specific tool that it's supporting. So there's Portal training, Databricks training, QuickSight, and SAS Viya. If you wanted to just see the training hub as a whole, that's available. These drop down provide you a view of the articles that we've published. But if you're looking specifically for SAS and SAS resources, you can come directly to the SAS page and it will give you all the content that has been published since the launch and content that was previously stored in Confluence. So we have quite a bit of SAS resource material out here. But again, that will be updated every 2 weeks going forward. As I mentioned, the FAQ, what was formerly FAQ, the FAQ page, we've removed the content from it. We've added a link to the new page, and this page will be archived July 8th. So if you have bookmarked the SAS Viya FAQ page, make sure that you are navigating to the resource page, the new resource page, and bookmarking that instead. In addition to that, we've also provided links to the data camp, the spring data camp, and the office hours. And as we publish material, these other office hours will be updated with their specific pages. And then this is the new SAS resources page. So every 2 weeks, we'll be publishing new information. As I mentioned, we divided them into categories so that overall, hopefully they are easier for you to find a specific question that you need an answer to. And then in addition to that, the office hour topics as well. So as you can see here, if you click it, the content on this page is specific to the particular office hour. So we have the notebook from topic 1 that was used, we have the presentation that was used, and then we also have the recording. In addition to that, we have all the questions that were asked during that particular session and the answers that go along with them. They will not be divided out into those general categories. They will stay with the office hour material, just to have them all in the same area and with the content that it applies to. And I think with that overall, is there any questions before anything else that I can demo from Portal? Can't see the questions, so if there are questions, Julia, can you tell me?
We don't have any right now, actually.
Okay, perfect.
But if anyone does have any questions that they think of after Miriam is finished presenting, you can certainly put them in the chat, and then we can get them to her after the fact, and we'll be sure to get those published with our Q&A section then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that I covered everything in the next 2 slides, but if you want to click to the next slide real quick.
Sorry, I was still on mute.
Oh, no worries. Yes, that is just covering the announcements will be there. We want to make sure that it's valuable, the monthly audits, and seeing the announcements and events under latest news and events. If you could go to the next slide. The calendar view, and then coming soon, the past events page for the data camp and town hall material. Also, the data contributor page will be coming soon. And then feedback, just areas of improvement. We always welcome feedback, so please feel free to provide any suggestions through the Slack channel, through Town Hall, through Data Camp. We appreciate that and always look for areas to improve on. I think the next slide is yours, probably.
Thank you so much. So with that, we are going to be moving on to Stephanie to give us some more information about new data sets coming soon in the CDR.
Hey, thanks, Julia. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Braunschweig, the product owner for the data management team. I'm going to take just a few minutes to note a couple of data sets that will become available in the CDR in the next month or so. I will say, though, for both of them and any other data sets that will be added, we'll send out wider communication when they are available for use. If you could go to the next slide, please. So the first is PRS 2.0, and Julia, if you, oh, there we go, thank you, which will, of course, PRS 2.0 will, of course, be replacing 1.0. And the big thing that I want to highlight here is that the PRS 2.0 data will be available in July. And then once 1.0 is sunset later this year, PRS 2.0 will be considered the single source of data. So we'll send out communications once we're provided with a date that this will happen and a timeline for when everyone will need to make that switch. So just to quickly recap on this one, though the data is going to become available in the coming weeks, that timeline to move completely will be coming later in 2024. And if we could move to the next slide, the other data set is HQR exemptions. This is going to replace the waivers module from PRS 1.0. And this data set is expected to be available in mid-August. After that point, the previous location is not going to continue to be updated, so we'll need groups to switch over to using the new data set at that point. And again, we'll send out communications when we have the specific date from that team, but wanted to give you all a heads up for now that this is coming. So overall, this update is an FYI and more communication on the specific dates And for these data sets and anything else that's new will be coming in the future. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, so next we'll be doing a Databricks Assistant pilot demo with Derek.
Cool. Thanks, Julia. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of walk through a little bit and demo the new Databricks Assistant pilot that's available within Databricks production environment, kind of how you all can utilize it, what it can do for everybody. There's some links here to previous announcements and trainings and user guides and all that stuff within Portal that Miriam just recently showed. So with that, I can go ahead and just share my screen and keep this short. You see that, Julia?
Yep, sorry, I was on mute.
Right. Yep, no worries. All right, so at the very top here, I've included the same links, within Portal and all this other stuff. But what I wanted to touch on real briefly is how you can use it, what you can do with it. Obviously, this is a notebook. Within the notebook, this is where your Databricks Assistant is. And a really brief, quick thing is you can see here, I've got history, right, of different things I've asked it, different things it's provided to me. This is only going to be available within this notebook. So what you can do is this new assistant, you would turn it on. And once you do that, you reload the page. And turning on the new assistant is basically going to put it on the right-hand side here. And what that does is it's actually going to have history where you can go across notebooks, across workflows, computes, job runs and stuff. And it's all going to keep that history of what you're asking it, what you're doing, and the answers it's providing and stuff like that. So you don't need it to just stay in one notebook. It'll kind of follow you around, if you want to call it that, within Databricks as you go in, and basically just keep all of that stuff historically within the assistant's chat. So just to get in really quick, there's a lot of different things we can utilize it for. You could ask it how do you schedule jobs, and it'll spit it out, basically kind of instructions on exactly how you go into workflows, and you can set up jobs to be scheduled within notebooks and adding triggers and all of this other stuff, right? And it's going to help kind of just walk you through what you need to do. You can ask it, what are some of the current packages that are loaded on my cluster, and it will provide you a brief code snippet on how you can run that. And putting it here, simply running it, you can see all of the different preloaded packages. This is kind of walk you through how you can install it. But one thing I wanted to do is get into more about being able to actually generate code. And so Assistant is outside here, but you can also bring it into each of the command windows. By clicking it here, you can toggle the assistant, ask it something here, and it will provide you with this example code here. And if you like it, you just hit accept, and now you can run this. And now I've got a data frame that provided me zip codes, and maybe I want to do something else to that data frame. Again, toggling it inside of the command window, asking it to create a list of Midwest state codes and filter my Spark data frame by that list. Here it's providing me the list. I can accept it. Here's all the different state codes, depending on if you believe in the definition of Midwest. And then here's how we can filter that Spark data frame with a list of state codes, and we can run it. Again, here, maybe there's one last thing we want to do where we want to aggregate it or something, asking it to provide me a Spark code that will count number of state codes by state. Notice here, I can accept this, but notice it's just showing me, assuming, you know, I've got a frame called DF and I've got state is called state and all this other stuff, right? So we want to make sure, again, that you're paying attention and understanding exactly what it is that we're using here within the data frame to make sure that zip is a part of it. Okay, yeah, it's good. And state is a part of it. Yes, that's good. Our data frame isn't DF because we filtered it. So it's DF filtered. So now we're going to go ahead and run this. And here it's writing it to another data frame. We don't really actually even need it to do that. We could just display specifically what we want it to display rather than writing it to a data frame, creating additional memory. I'm not really sure why it's importing. It's importing all of the different PySpark SQL functions, calling it as F, so that way you can use the count function with an F dot. And here you go. Here's all of the Midwest states and the number of zip codes. You can order it within here rather than ordering it, telling it to order it in your data frame, and this is a lot easier way to do it. What else can it do? Well, it can
Derek,
help.
just a heads up, we have about 30 seconds to 1 more minute until we need to move to Dan.
Cool. Yep. One last thing I'll show is helping it debug errors, right? So I ran this. It doesn't know, like it's erroring. It's saying it's unresolved. I don't know what it's doing. Calling it, okay, diagnose this error for me. It's going to go in and it's going to tell me, here's what it thinks the error message is saying and why. And it's telling me, oh, I'm missing quotes around my state code parameter. So again, here you can actually replace it, or you can just copy it here and it'll completely replace everything in here. And again, go to run it. Everything's good to go. Last piece I was going to show, but doesn't necessarily need to do it, is it is able to translate SAS code. And be very careful in how it's translating it. You can't just assume it knows everything and then run exactly what it gives you. You're going to need to take a look at what it's doing, how it's doing it, making sure that it's using the correct field and column names and all of that stuff to make sure that it's providing you the correct way to do it. Again, it can translate SAS code into PySpark code, much like we did with ChatGPT and the Spring data camp I demoed. It's all within Databricks, all within your notebook, and easily integrated within your notebook to be able to use. So, yeah.
Thanks so much, Derek. Okay, so next we are going to be moving on over to Dan to give us information about accessing the CDR with R.
All right, let me just quickly share my screen. You'll see that I've put in the Townhall chat just the relative path to my Databricks notebook. The URL is actually provided in the full. Where is this stupid button at? Here we go. The full URL is provided in the PDF or the PowerPoint that is being shared. Okay, can we, yep. All right, perfect. Just quickly, I wanted more than anything to make you aware of this resource. And for any of you who are using R, you can go through this resource on your own time. But we did create a little demo of how to use the data catalog with R. I've also created it so that all users of the workspace can view this notebook. And what I wanted to show is, so we've now got it so that like if you spin up, like if you want to go to the data catalog explorer and you set up your R only cluster, you'll be able to see that there are actually, the schemas are all connected now based on your DUAs and stuff. Obviously I'm admin, I have some admin privileges, so I'll probably have more here than you would. But I've created a number of hyperlinks in this, but I wanted you to have some example code of how to use how to access the CDR data. So here I'm loading in the Spark R library. I'm running this whole thing in R. You can also just run like the display. You can run a function of list databases, and I've wrapped it with the display so that you can sort through here and look and see what schemas are available. You can look at the tables, list tables of a particular schema. And then here I've just taken a version of, so if I want to create an R data frame, well, it's a Spark data frame using R, then you can run just a simple SQL statement to pull from the public data. I used this Hive Metastore portion, but that catalog portion isn't actually even necessary. I just did it to be explicit. You can see you can print the data frame output. I've done two things here. One, I've used the show data frame function. Then I've also used the head function. The show data frame function will have a default of showing you the first 20 records, and we'll print it out this way. And then the head function puts it out in a different format. Both of them are supported by R. If you wrap the head function in display, then you get a nice little table that you can work with. You can't do that with the show data frame. Then you can just do the save as table. So really all I've done is I've taken a subset of the zip code data and output it into a new location for myself into my schema of DASI simplicity. Some common SQL functions, if it's not, normally you would have to do like, if you wanted to see the tables, you would have to do show tables, but they have the function. However, if you want to drop a table or anything like that, you actually just do it as a standard SQL function. So here we've got describe extended is supported here. Select all with a limit of 10 if I just wanted to see what was moved over. A show create table will show you how the tables are created, your standard SQL schemas. I will point out, as we've noticed before, that a Spark data frame schema is going to be different from a SQL schema. And so you'll see that the schema content here is different than the schema's output here. And if you need to drop the table, you have to do it as a separate SQL statement, like a drop table if exists. And I will leave it at that. But this is available for everybody to explore at their own leisure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan. So because we are at 2 o'clock right now, we are going to move on from our questions today. Luckily, there weren't many in the chat that weren't answered yet, but those ones that weren't yet answered, we'll be sure to pass along to our team to make sure they get answered and then published in our Q&A section. So be sure to look out for that on our public town hall page, and we'll be sharing out communication when that is ready. So now looking ahead, thank you so much to our presenters today and those of you who joined us. So like I said, all meeting materials will be available, including the recording, slide content, and Q&A on our Confluence space shortly. Some upcoming events, we have our next maintenance event July 12th, and then our next town hall will be July 24th at 1 p.m. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or issues, please be sure to reach out to us via email or Slack. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.